So I just finished giving all 3 dogs a bath, which was a huge endeavor. For those of you who don't know, we have 3 barking now because they're mad at me. Really, they hate baths. But we have 3 really big dogs. We have an Old English Bulldog who's about 100 pounds. We have 2 Daniffs. One is 150-ish pounds, and the other one's coming out at $110 right now. And it's always a huge process to get them bathed. And again, they're still going to bark at me because they are not happy. Not happy at all that they got a bath. But I'm happy when they get baths because I get to use my awesome dog shampoo. And we are going to talk all about the dog shampoo and give you a recipe today because that's amazing. And we're going to do all of that in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. Seriously, they're not going to stop. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 53 of 365 days of soap, still year 2. And yeah, we are doing a solid dog shampoo bar recipe day today for you and for your pups, because that's awesome. Now, in this recipe, we are playing with, well, a lot of things, honestly, because when you are dealing with dog coats and dog skin, just like when you're dealing with, shampoo bars for the hair, you really do have to pay attention as to what you're putting into it as far as your oils and butters, but really, really importantly, the essential oils that you put in. Now, you can actually use fragrance oils in a dog shampoo if you would like, for sure. I tend to, if I'm going to do that, I actually use it at, about 3% instead of like a 5 to 6% but it actually is one of those things that the fragrance oil is probably going to be safer than the essential oils for dogs because so many of them are toxic to animals. Now, we will be having in a couple days, I think. Yeah. A deep dive into, using essential oils versus fragrance oils, what to look out for, what survives the saponification process, all that jazz. So look out for that video. Hit subscribe if you're new here so you can see when that video gets dropped. But we're going to be talking specifically about dog coats and dog skin and essential oil usage, therein in this recipe. So let's go to the video. We can talk more about all of the things, there. Okay, so a short and sweet video today because all of the work goes into the back end determining what needs to go into a good pup shampoo. So 25% coconut oil, 25% palm, 25% olive oil, 8% castor oil for the bubble, 8% karanja, 9% hemp. Now the karanja is going to be really good as an antifungal, as an anti-flea, an anti-bug. Hemp oil is going to be for anti-itch in its natural state. So that sounds great. Let's go ahead and add that to the shampoo version, right? Because as we know, soap cleans. But we have to be careful with a pup's acid mantle on the skin. And so instead of water, we are using 14.4 ounces of aloe liquid and 5.35 ounces of lye. So that's about 38% of water, 2.4 times the batch-ish. The essential oils that we are using for this are chamomile and lavender. You have to be really careful with essential oils in a dog shampoo. The reason for that is a lot of essential oils do not work well with animals. And so when in doubt, leave it unscented. Or, worst case scenario, just use a fragrance oil. This is something that This is going to be one of those cases where a fragrance oil, good times. Now, red clay, pretty self-explanatory. The glycerin as an extra humectant, drawing more moisture to the dog's coat and skin to help it from the drying. And the sodium lactate is going to help the bar harden faster. And the oatmeal, it's skin soothing, all that jazz. You can leave the oatmeal out. There actually are dogs that are allergic to oatmeal. So, keep that in mind along with your decision to make whether or not to put in essential oils, all that jazz. Now, I do like to strain my aloe liquid when I am using it in anything. So that's what we're doing right now. Also, with this, the aloe liquid that I'm using is of the drinkable variety. So it's not like that gel consistency aloe vera gel thing that you put on like bug bites and stuff. I get the aloe liquid that you can drink for something like this. Now, because it's such a simple recipe, there's really not a lot to it at this point. And so once it's hit an emulsion, I then just go ahead and put the red clay. I mixed everything in the glycerin. So the red clay, the oatmeal, all that jazz, into the glycerin that I will then scrape into the container along with my essential oil blend. Now, again, as I said, very, very simple recipe. Like, it's a very fast recipe. It's quick to make. This is something, because of the oils that are in it, that's going to take a little bit longer to cure. Now, by a little bit longer and cure, God, that's such a weird and arbitrary thing. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know my thoughts on cure and how kind of silly, how much of a silly kind of non-word that is. People like to talk about crystallization. That is complete and utter bullshit. That there's no scientific backing behind a crystalline structure in soap making. That's not what this is. This is essentially, cure means when soaps stop losing water weight. And as they lose water weight, the bubble does become, bigger in some cases, more stable in others, both in even others. But with this particular formulation, because of the fatty acid chains within the hemp, the castor, and the karanja, it does take a little bit longer to cure. Not quite as long as like an olive oil soap, like a Castile soap, but a little bit. So I usually like to make these soaps 6 weeks in advance before I have them ready to sell. This particular recipe is for a custom order that for a person who is expecting a new round of pups. And so this will be done with plenty of time to use them. Now, on to the pour and to the chit-chatting about whether or not cold processed soap can be used on a dog. Now, I have talked to, so many vets about this. And there is this thing out there that says, animals, dogs skin have a different pH than ours. And that is true. That is accurate. But that does not mean that cold processed soap cannot be used on their acid mantle. This is all just sort of, I will link the video wherein I am talking more in depth about this, what the pH means, what the acid mantle means, all of that jazz, and why it doesn't super make sense. I mean, I did 5 different shampoo bar recipes using everything from a melt and pour to a Syndep bar, and I talked all about the pH of all of that in those videos. And so I will link that playlist and you're welcome to go check that out. But in all actuality, using a cold processed shampoo for your dog's coat or your own hair, completely fine. It doesn't actually disrupt the acid mantle. That doesn't actually make sense, like chemically. So I talk about that more in depth in those videos, and I don't super have time to do it today. That said, you do still need to be careful with the things that you do put into a pet shampoo. I think the last pet shampoo I showed you, I also included baking soda, and I did a couple of other different things to sort of lower the pH. It's really not necessary. Every vet that I've ever talked to, and every, dermatologist and, cosmetic hairstyle, whatever. Well, not a hairstylist, because that's a different thing entirely. But your acid mantle is not dependent on, and neither is your animals, dependent on what that acid actually, or what it is that you're putting on it. A healthy acid mantle is how quickly it can rebound after something has been added to it. And, when it comes to cleaning and everything, you actually do kind of need the opposite of what your acid mantle is in order to clean, be it your body or, like actual things in your house. And I hate that I don't have enough time to actually talk about all of this in great depth with such a little teeny tiny itty bitty baby video. But I mean, the cool things about making pet shampoo, it doesn't take long to make. And so, yay, that's awesome for the makers, but boo for the explanation. So really do go check out the videos that I made on shampoo bars in year 1, as well as the pet shampoo that I made in year 1, which is a different recipe, and I'm pretty sure I give it to you, that recipe to you as well. And, get more information there, really. Now, this particular batch size makes about 50 of these 1.5 ounce pucks. Now, I've noticed with my dogs, we only bathe our dogs every 3-ish weeks. They're short-haired dogs that, they don't get dirty. And I think that's just what you're supposed to do with dogs anyway. I don't know. Long-haired dogs might be different. This works well for short-hair and long-haired dogs, though. I do have people who use them for both. But one of these little pucks will last around 3 baths with a large dog. Now, we have extra large dogs, and so around 3 baths for dogs our size, and we have big giant dogs known as extra large dogs or extra large dogs. They're big pups. Now, I'm going to give you a lather test on all of this. Now, granted, these soaps are only about 12 hours old, and the lather does change when you are putting it against a coat or hair versus skin, but it's meant to be a nice, gentle, like kind of moisturizing lather, so nice and creamy. But again, once you actually get in contact with the hair versus just skin on your hands, nice, big, awesome bubble, especially after it's cured up a bit. You will totally notice the similarities with this lather as with like a Castile soap. And that makes sense with the amount of olive, karanja, hemp, and the castor, which is a little bit slimy off the bat, but cures out into a beautiful big lather. But yeah, no, that's an easy pet shampoo recipe. That is day 53. Wish I had more time to talk to you more about this, but teeny tiny video. Go check out the other ones that I've made on the very subject.
And there they are, the dog shampoo bars. And I really love this recipe for sure. Just use these ones on all 3 of the pups, and they never have any sorts of problems with irritation or itchy or bugs or anything with using this shampoo. So it actually keeps a lot of beasties at bay, which makes me very, very happy. Now, as far as like how often you're supposed to bathe dogs and do the thing, I mean, I think the standard is like every 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. But obviously, your pets, you do you live your best life for sure. For me personally, I only bathe the dogs once every 3 or 4 weeks because they're short-haired dogs. They're pretty good at whatever, all of that. But with daily use with anything, like if you were to actually shampoo your hair daily, you would also obviously experience drying no matter what type of shampoo you're using. So I don't recommend this for daily use, as I would not recommend daily shampooing. Although I do daily shampoo, but that's because I'm a runner, and that's a different video. It's I'll link that one. There you go. Yes, if you are interested in these dog shampoos, yeah, you can get them right now at soapandclay.com for sure. If you're interested in seeing, what else we come up with for the 365 days of soap, subscribe. What are you doing? Click the button. That would be great. If you are interested in any sort of recipe ideas or anything, drop a comment. Let me know. I'm happy to explore the stuff that you're wondering and, the things that you're curious about and, help out in any way that I can. Yes, I appreciate you, my sudzers, for being subscribed and for joining me for another day of 365 days of soap. I'm out of here for today. I need to go actually shower now after bathing the dogs because I haven't done so yet. But I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.